So we were saying, Imam Ahmad, rahimahullah ta'ala, these people, they were so indulged in knowledge. Some of them died while what? Saying a hadith. They asked Imam Ahmad, rahimahullah ta'ala, until when? Until when? At a very old age, he's carrying what? A board to write his knowledge on. Until when? And he mentioned that famous statement, مِنَ الْمَحْبَرَةِ إِلَى الْمَقْبَرَةِ, from the cradle to the grave. Now they made it into a film, from the cradle to the grave. It was actually Imam Ahmad rahimahullah ta'ala that mentioned it. And he used it, and the people of knowledge, they used it what? In his place. Being so indulged in knowledge. Seeking the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And wallahi, that reminds me of the statement of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. مَنْهُومَانِ لَا يَشْبَعَانِ طَالِبُ الْعِلْمِ وَطَالِبُ الدُّنْيَا. Two types, two categories of people, they never become full. Two categories of people, they never become full. The one that's seeking knowledge, and you find this once you start becoming indulged in knowledge. You learn one hadith, you want to learn more. Time and time again, you want to learn more and more and more and more and more. And it never ever ends. And the talib al-dunya, the one that's chasing after the dunya. Once he tastes money, nothing can fill the mouth of this human being except what? Dirt. As the Prophet ﷺ said, nothing can fill Bani Adam. If he had one mountain of gold, he wants another. And he just wants more and more and more. And the only thing that can fill his mouth is dirt. Getting sand and stuffing his mouth. So he keeps quiet and he's not able to do anything. I had one time, wallahi, a great fa'idah from the Akhuna Abdurrahman Hassan. Most of you know, I think you know him. He came here a few times to deliver a lecture. And most recently he came and delivered a lecture on the Khawarij. Recently I heard from him, and wallahi, it is so true. Sometimes when you look at the biographies of the Salaf, they remind you of what? Drug dealers. Why do we mention drug dealers? Why drug dealers? What does a drug dealer do when he needs his drugs? He gets his sofa, he sells it. He sells the food of his kids, he sells it. The food that he has, he gets rid of it in order to get what? The drug deal, or to get his drugs. The guy that's addicted to gambling, what does he do? He even puts his house, he bets on his house. Because he so wants to what? Make more money. And he's addicted. And the drug dealer or the druggie is addicted to get more drugs. Some of the Salaf, because they really, really wanted a book. They really wanted a book. Sometimes they would trade their pots and their pans and some of maybe the remaining clothes that they had in order to get that book and to read it and to seek more knowledge. Brothers, remember, وَمَنْ أَكْثَرَ مِنْ شَيْءٍ مَاتَ عَلَيْهِ وَمَنْ مَاتَ عَلَيْهِ بُعِثَ عَلَيْهِ. Whoever's excessive in doing something, he will die upon it. And whoever dies upon it, he will come on Yawm al-Qiyamah being resurrected. Abu Zur'at al-Razi, who we mentioned, who was from the students of Imam al-Humaydi that we're studying now. Imam al-Humaydi, from his students, how did he die? One time, Ibn Abu Hatim al-Razi and also Muhammad ibn Muslim, they were sitting with him. And Abu Zur'at al-Razi is dying. He's on his deathbed. Brothers, pay attention here. This is a very, very important story and an ibrah, a lesson to all of us. Abu Zur'at al-Razi was an imam. He memorized thousands and thousands of hadith. And this doesn't take place in a person who is busy with other things. Day and night they were stuck in ilm. He's dying. And Abu Hatim al-Razi and Muhammad al-Muslim, they were shy to tell Abu Zur'at al-Razi to say La ilaha illallah. Because when a person is dying, what happens? You do talqeen of La ilaha illallah. You repeat the La ilaha illallah to him in a calm manner. So because he was the teacher and he was teaching them, they were a bit shy to tell him, Ya Imam, say La ilaha illallah. Obviously because he knew many, many hadith. He knew knowledge. So they decided to tell him to revise them of the hadith of of man kana akhiru kalamihi la ilaha illallah dakhal al-jannah. And also some of the ahkam al-janaiz. So they're revising it. Abu Zur'at al-Razi, he mentions the hadith, man kana akhiru kalamihi la ilaha illallah. Man kana akhiru kalamihi la ilaha illallah. He mentions the sanad, the chain of narration. حدثنا فلان عن فلان عن فلان عن فلان عن فلان عن معاذ. Why is the isnad important? The man is dying, ikhwani, and he's mentioning the isnad. The Salaf, they mentioned وَلَوْلَا الْإِسْنَادِ لَقَالَ مَنْ شَاءَ مَا شَاءَ. If it wasn't for the chains of narration in the hadith, anyone will come and he will say, this hadith goes back to the Prophet ﷺ. So the isnad was important to the Salaf. He mentions مَنْ كَانَ آخِرُ كَلَامِهِ لَا إِلَهَ. And he dies. He didn't even finish the hadith. From the ahkam al-janaiz is that when a person is saying La ilaha illallah, if he says anything after that, you go back to him and you start mentioning La ilaha illallah to him again. To try and what? Get you to say La ilaha illallah to be the last thing. So he mentions the hadith, Man kana akhiru kalami La ilaha illallah, and he dies like that. And they said, the sound that came out of his mouth was ha. Because the ha is what? At the end of the La ilaha illallah. What is the probability and what is the chance that a person who is constantly disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to die upon disobedience? And we mentioned earlier, وَمَنْ أَكْثَرُ مِنْ شَيْءٍ مَاتَ عَلَيْهِ. Whoever is excessive in doing something, he is most likely to die upon that way. Someone day and night, he is disobeying Allah. Drug dealing, swearing, jumping up and down in the nightclub. He's with his girlfriend. What is the likelihood that he's going to die in this kind of scenario? Most of you, I think you know 50 Cent. 50 Cent. Is there anyone here that doesn't know 50 Cent? 50 Cent, in a lot of his videos he swears, F in this, F in that. He's just been shot. The police have him. The police have him. They're asking him, who killed you? What do you think he said? He tells the police to F off. And he died like that. The whole point is, someone who's excessive in saying something or doing something, he's most likely to die upon that way. And this is how 50 Cent died. Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala, he mentions in his kitab Da'wa Dawa that there's certain people, some of them they died saying ta-tin ta. It's like an irrational singing. He's singing ta-tin 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 ta. He died in this way. Some people they died saying checkmate, cook, checkmate, rookie. Some of the moves that you do when you play chess. Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala, he mentioned that this is not something that I'm making up. This has happened to people in the past and is happening to people today as well. We can all say La ilaha illallah. If I tell someone to say La ilaha illallah, he can say it. But do you think on your deathbed, it will be that easy to say La ilaha illallah when those before you and those that will come after you will have difficulty saying La ilaha illallah? Why? Because of your a'mal. Because of your a'mal. How your actions used to be. How you used to behave. How excessive you used to be in doing a particular matter. So that's something very, very important. The whole point I mentioned that, Ya ikhwani al-ilm, al-ilm, al-ilm. I mentioned time and time again, is it fair that we give so much to our dunya, so much to our work, but when it comes to our religion, we don't even give an hour? So much to our studies, so much to our A-levels, so much to our degree or universities, but when it comes to knowledge, wallahi akhi, I'm a bit busy. Is this fair? A question we all ask ourselves. And I think, ikhwani, it's time, it's Isha. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to benefit us from what which you heard. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.